title, Tefnut, Mistress of Moisture, guardian of cosmic balance, peace in the heart of ancient Egyptian cosmology. Before kings ruled on earth and dynasties left stone records along the Nile, the universe was an expanse of dark, silent waters, Nu. From this primordial void emerged Atum, the self-created god, who in a divine act of will brought forth the twin deities, Shu and Tefnut. Peace Tefnut, the goddess of moisture, rain and dew, was more than just a symbolic element of weather. She was balance personified. With her twin brother and consort Shu, god of air, she formed one of the earliest divine duads, responsible for maintaining Ma'at, the cosmic order that held the universe together. They were the first physical beings to emerge from the non-physical, establishing divine rule before terrestrial kings. Divine origins and attributes. Tefnut's name is believed to derive from the root tef, meaning to spit or moisture expelled, indicating her form of divine creation. Atum produced her and Shu from his own essence, often said to be spit or semen. She was depicted as a lion-headed goddess, embodying fierce protection, fertility, and elemental power. Her mane symbolized the blazing heat of the sun, balanced by her dominion over water. Tefnut was closely aligned with the solar deity Ra. As the Eye of Ra, a destructive yet regenerative force, she was often sent to punish or protect, depending on the will of the gods. Her association with the lioness form connected her to other wrathful goddesses like Sekhmet, but her role was unique. She preserved fertility through moisture, allowing the land to bloom and kingship to thrive. Myth of withdrawal and return. One of the most significant myths that marked her influence was the myth of the distant goddess. In this tale, Tefnut becomes enraged with Ra and withdraws to Nubia, taking the life-giving moisture with her. Without her, Egypt plunged into a period of drought, chaos, and disarray. This symbolic act demonstrated the fragility of Ma'at and the dependence of Egypt's prosperity on divine harmony. To restore balance, Thoth, the god of wisdom, was dispatched to retrieve her. Disguised and with clever words, he appeased Tefnut, eventually convincing her to return. Her triumphant return from Nubia symbolized the restoration of divine order and brought back fertility to the Nile Valley. This return was celebrated in temple rituals and seasonal festivals, reaffirming her essential role in Egyptian theology. Architectural and ritual legacy. Tefnut was honored in the sacred architecture of Heliopolis, the city of the sun. She, along with Shu, featured in the Ennead, the 9 primary gods of Heliopolitan theology, and temples bore her image alongside those of Atum and Shu, often showing the divine lineage that culminated in Geb and Nut, and subsequently Osiris, Isis, Seth, and Nephthys. Priestesses of Tefnut, especially in the Old and Middle Kingdoms, were initiates into the mysteries of water rites, fertility spells, and seasonal forecasting. The control of water was power, and Tefnut's blessings were invoked in times of drought or agricultural uncertainty. Offerings of alabaster vessels filled with sacred water were made at her altars, and her statues were washed with morning dew collected from papyrus reeds. Tefnut's influence beyond Egypt. Though rooted in Egypt, Tefnut's attributes were echoed across East Africa and the ancient Near East. In Sumer, water goddesses like Namu and Ninlil reflected similar motifs of life through water. These intercultural parallels demonstrate that Tefnut was not a localized myth, but part of a wider understanding among ancient civilizations, that life depended on the delicate balance between the elements. Legacy in kingship and divine authority. Tefnut's divine moisture was symbolic of the pharaoh's fertility and right to rule. Without the waters she governed, crops would fail and the Nile would recede. Pharaohs claimed divine descent from Atum, Shu, and Tefnut, using this lineage to legitimize their control over nature, agriculture, and society. The Great Karnak Temple complex includes references to Tefnut in its inscriptions, connecting her powers with the inundation of the Nile. Her role was invoked during coronation ceremonies and annual Heb-Sed festivals, where the rejuvenation of the king paralleled the renewal of the land through divine moisture. Conclusion. Reclaiming the power of balance, Tefnut represents more than moisture. She is balance, wisdom, fertility, and the fierce lioness guarding the breath of life. In a world where climate, fertility, and social order were interdependent, her story reminds us of the ancestral knowledge held by the ancients. To relive Tefnut is to embrace the truth that harmony between elements, fire and water, rage and wisdom, male and female, is the source of all greatness. Her return from Nubia was not only a myth of forgiveness, but a cosmic allegory. Greatness is achieved not by domination, but by restoring equilibrium. Let us remember the lioness of dew, the mistress of moisture, and the one who restored the breath to the body of the black land. Reclaim this ancestral understanding, relearn the balance of nature, of self, of spirit. In doing so, you gather the advanced knowledge of your past and walk forward in strength, wrapped in the dew of ancient greatness. Kindly click like, subscribe, and share this channel.